So there's this rather controversial topic going around involving the latest Spider-Man cartoon, and I gotta say, like, I'm not surprised, but I'm also confused by it personally, and I'm gonna explain why in a bit. But first, let's go over said controversy. I'm sure most of you know, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man came out, and like a day before the first episode premiered, or like 2 days before, something like that. For those who don't know, the voice actor for Spider-Man Peter Parker in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Hudson Thames, pretty much he did an interview with Collider. This was published again a day or two before the show's first couple premiering episodes. So let's just go over the first question the interviewer Mike Thomas asked Hudson Thames. So the interviewer asked Thames, hey, what was it like having a chance for a fresh take on Spider-Man in a world featuring characters never before seen in the MCU like Norman Osborn and Lonnie Lincoln? You know, normal question, right? Then Hudson Thames replies with the following: I thought it was awesome. I mean, my biggest fear was that it was going to be annoying and woke, and it wasn't. And I was like, yes, this is great. It's so well written. Like, it feels real. I'm the oldest of 5 boys, so I feel like I kind of know what's happening in their lives and in high school, and it felt like it was doing that justice. So now a majority of the Spider-Man fan base has pretty much been like, yeah, this show is ruined. It's absolutely done.
You're done.
This is the next Spider-Man fucking Lotus, the next racist Spider-Man. Like, all right, bro. But that's the controversy in a nutshell. We're gonna break it down. I'm gonna give my take on it, and I will address the people who hate on certain demographics. So make sure to stay to the end so you don't miss any of the above we will be discussing in today's video. Now that out of the way, lock in and listen. Let's start off with this. I need to make it clear that I have not watched Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man yet, and I'm purposefully doing that because I wanted to make this video first. I'm gonna say this quick. I'm a person that likes to separate the art from the artist. A lot of you motherfuckers do not know how to do that shit. And what I mean by this is like, okay, recently, I don't know if y'all heard about it, the X drama, but some shit, like an interview clip came up, everybody's calling him corny, and then they're also bringing up again the crazy legal shit he was in, calling him a bad person. I became a fan of X when he blew up, and I found out like about the legal shit like eventually. I was always like, hey man, you did some fucked up shit, and I acknowledge that, but you make some fire ass music, and you helping me get through my high school teenage years, I'm gonna acknowledge that as well. You cannot be okay with a celebrity doing something especially fucked up, but we can't discredit their art because of said fucked up actions. And that's not necessarily like a defense to like any celebrity doing anything crazy. I kind of just feel like that's the mature way to go about it. Like, yeah, like you fucked up, you should be held accountable, but damn, like you make some music though, or you make some good content, whatever, you feel me? Now with that out of the way, I'm gonna keep the same energy here. I'm never gonna switch my line of thinking as far as that goes. That's who I am. So first, with this Hudson Thames situation, just generally speaking, I thought woke meant any demographic that isn't white, male, cis, lesbians, gays, transgenders, etc. Those kinds of groups. Emo, goth, alternative, shit, women for that matter, which is really sad if you think about that shit. Not only those, there's more. Black people, Spanish people, again, anybody just not white. This last one's a little more far-fetched, but if you're heavy into government politics as well. But I think as far as this video goes, we're gonna just use the term woke regarding anything other than politics that I just mentioned. With that being said, I'm gonna say in general, I hate the term woke considering it's a label for anything outside of the quote-unquote normal white straight male, whatever, right? That's my perception of it, at least. So in general, the term woke is dumb because it's a label that makes it seem out of the norm for what should be normal, pretty much. I said that to say I'm a supporter of all those types of people. Be who you want to be. You feel me? That's cool. Now to address the comment by Hudson Thames where he said my biggest fear was it was going to be annoying and woke. I genuinely believe people are taking this way out of context and just running with it for like a lot of reasons, but just to name a few. One, they only put those 12 words out in like most articles, and most people on Twitter talking about it, they only talk about that one line, which leads to number 2, they are assuming the worst like case scenario, if that makes sense, and it's already biased from the fact that they already put those 12 words, or only put those 12 words. 3, he literally goes on to explain what he meant by that sentence after by saying, and it wasn't, as in it wasn't as woke and annoying as he thought it could have been. He then was like, yeah, this is great, it's so well written, it feels real. To my knowledge, the Spider-Man community pretty much thinks, hey, Hudson Thames is racist because he thought it was going to be annoyingly woke with black people. I guess woke to most people specifically means like racial, and as we know, there's black people in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which kind of sounds crazy to say, but more specifically, there are race swaps for major close characters to Spider-Man, like Harry, Norman, and I believe Flash Thompson. Again, I still haven't watched the show. No spoilers, please. I'm gonna watch it, just no spoilers. Just from what I've seen so far, like just the trailer, like the show looks very diverse though anyway, so it's much more than black people, but obviously like the closer characters to Peter, there's race swaps and shit like that. So that's kind of what caught most people's eyes, I think. So now that we're kind of caught up to speed on, you know, the controversy and the response from the Spider-Man community, to get more into my opinion on Hudson Thames' comment, I feel like he didn't say any specific demographic. People kind of just were like, yeah, you're racist for that, bro. Just because you think something is woke doesn't mean it's racist necessarily. But I'm also not saying it cannot mean that, because that is something that falls under the term. Like I said though, I thought woke meant like, yes, racial justices, but social justices as well, as in all groups of people I just listed, the LGBT black people, Spanish, women, you know, whatever. Also, I don't know if this is weird to say, but like there's a lot of women in the show, and like that's not an issue. I love women, I support them, but this show generally, from what I've seen before watching the show, is pretty much set in today's time. In a sense, there's a lot more people open about being like gay, transgender, or they're more proud of who they are as a race. Again, like the race swaps and shit like that. Piercings, alternative goth, emo, that's considered woke to some people. Again, there's a goth bitch in the show. Harry has earrings and a ponytail, I'll get to that in a minute. And like, again, all of that is totally cool, but the issue becomes when it's overdone to a point, and I'm not talking about like anybody in real life in the world overdoing it, like whatever, you know, do what you want to do. I mean, I'm talking about when big companies like Disney are writing stories about these groups of human beings. Sometimes these companies fucking suck at writing. Look at the Sonyverse. Okay, nah, that Sony job was low-key unnecessary, but I do have a much better comparison in a second. But in general, these companies suck at writing, especially about minorities or the LGBT community or anyone related to those communities. Hudson Thames literally said, and I quote, "My biggest fear was that it was going to be annoying and woke," emphasis, and it wasn't. And I was like, yes, this is great. It's so well written, like it feels real. So now to get into that better example, the Scooby-Doo Velma spinoff, whatever that shit is a perfect example of a show being terribly woke and cringe and just written horribly.
On TV shows, the malt shop owner is always a friendly black man or a spicy and meatball Italian.
Drugs, which I hate.
Daphne, why would you deal drugs? You're beautiful and popular. Minorities on TV can only deal drugs to escape poverty.
When I tell you the way I physically fucking cringed watching that, like I wanted to like scratch my eyeballs out, bro. Now, obviously, in a way, I'm defending Hudson Thames because in a way, I think that's what he meant. Like, that's how I perceived he said it. But if he did mean it in the way the Spider-Man community thinks he meant it, as in, oh, I thought it would be annoying and woke because there's too many black people in it, I obviously would stand with the Spider-Man community and be on their side. But I didn't perceive it that way. He didn't say anything specific or overly hateful at all. He just wanted it to be written the right way, and I think that's all what we want. I know that's what I want. Which, by the way, I've heard from a lot of people that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is written extremely well. Like, apparently it's on par with Spider-Man the Animated Series. And for me, that's the highest bar there is. So I don't know. We'll see. But back to what I was saying though. I think he came off in a way where he wants it to be written the right way. I want people to be written and presented the right way. I hope there's black people out there who watch the show and are like, that's dope. I love that. I relate to that. That's me right there type shit. I hope there are LGBTQ people that watch the show can relate and be like, hey, that's me right there in a way, or like whatever, you know? Again, haven't watched it. I don't know if this demographic is in the show, but you know, you get the point. And even the showrunner for the show, Jeff Trammell, he got asked about the situation in a Reddit Ask Me Anything, and this was his response. I love Hudson and didn't focus too much on what he said. I believe he simply misspoke, and I know that's been weighing on him. him. I think we made a fantastic show that is going to appeal to a wide audience and hopefully captures what I love about this Spider-Man. He's a guy who cares deeply about the people around him and always tries to do the right thing. Now, obviously, in a way, he's gonna defend him because he's the showrunner, but as well, this isn't an Ezra Miller situation or like the Spider-Man actor saying the N-word or whoever at Spider-Man Lotus said it. I think in general, he shouldn't have used the term woke because in a way, like it's already a setup for being canceled in today's cancel culture. Generally speaking though, again, based off his entire statement in the interview, I think Hudson Thames came off in a way where he cares about all demographics and was hoping they weren't written poorly into the story for the sake of those demographics to just be in the story. Now, to address people who hate certain demographics, not surprisingly, but surprisingly sadly, Coleman Domingo, the actor playing Norman Osborn, has received backlash since it was revealed that his character Norman Osborn is black instead of white, which is disgusting and not okay. If you're one of these people, burn in hell. When I found out Norman was black, I was like, all right, cool, like it's interesting. It was kind of like weird in the way of like, okay, I'm not used to this, but I'm open to it or whatever, as long as it's written good type shit. I don't mind. But then I was thinking like, yo, wait, in the comics he's white, and in general media he's white, but bro, in the comics they had Norman and Harry rocking the waves while they were white. So now seeing them black with waves, or well, I don't remember if Harry has waves, but I'm pretty sure Norman had waves, and I'm like, bro, like this shit looks right now, and it looks good or whatever. You feel me? So like, hey, that's cool, whatever. I don't know. I think it looks great. I like it. I think though people weren't ready for this in general. Now I will address a community post tab that I made on my YouTube page talking about, oh, they changed Harry Osborn's skin color. That's cool. But to be honest, I kind of thought he looked girly, femboyish, and I could have that term mixed up with something else. But in general, I kind of just thought he looks girly. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a combination of like the earrings, ponytail, and like the animation of his face, or like maybe his jawline. I don't fucking know, but like he just looks a little too girly for my taste. And I was thinking like, okay, like if anything would be woke, I feel like it might be this. And again, like I hate that term, but I haven't watched the show yet. I'm gonna keep an open mind or whatever, but that's like what was going through my head in general. And like I still think that, obviously, because I haven't watched the show yet. But I don't know, maybe Hudson Thames was thinking shit like that, but maybe not. I don't know, who knows. I don't believe he's spoken on the comment since he made it any further on it anyway. But honestly, I feel like his statement was so general, it's really up for interpretation. Like he didn't say anything definitive. I will say though, in general, if you are somebody who doesn't want any out of the norm demographics in Spider-Man, especially black people, or you think Spider-Man can't be black, you're brain dead, racist, again, burn in hell. Because Spider-Man is literally a woke character. He fights for social justices every day. Fighting social injustices comes with the idea of being a superhero, if you didn't know that. And on top of that, Spider-Man was made for it. Like Stan Lee literally created him because his costume is completely covering the person. Anybody can be under that mask. That's what Spider-Man is all about. To wrap this up, overall, I think he really genuinely didn't mean it the way people thought he meant it. I think people took it way out of context and just ran with it. I think people are quick to read headlines, not the full interview and context of the interview, especially reporting news outlets that are reporting on the quote he said in the interview. They aren't going to include the full response or the full statement he said. I do also think he definitely could have worded it better, or just not said anything about like the woke shit at all, because like in general this is an extremely sensitive topic, and for that I think again he meant he cares about it and the work he does, so he wanted it to be portrayed correctly, and he said it was portrayed correctly. But yeah, I want to hear your opinion, so with that being said, make sure to comment down below so I can interact with you in the comments. Thank you for taking time out of your day to click on this video. If you're new to the channel, I like to talk about confirmations, rumors, leaks regarding Spider-Man media, and whatever else I feel like covering. I guess now that includes Spider-Man community dramas. So if that's your vibe, subscribe. Help us get to 6K. Don't forget to like the video and to check out my last upload at the top left. Hope you ever had a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time.